Hello there, folks, and welcome to the stream. My name is Mike D'Angelo, aka That Tellest Guy, and I am here with my lovely co-host Rihanna.
Hello.
And we are slightly more recovered from COVID, than we were last week. We're verifying that audio is coming through. I got the thumbs up. Um, Rihanna's still feeling a little under the weather. I've got a little bit of congestion. You can still hear. Luckily, as for sound, we're going to let something else do the heavy lifting this week. And it kind of came about because of the sort of fever dreams that started up because of COVID.
Yeah, I don't think this would have came alive if you were like going to work every day, were
Right.
in your right mind.
Right. I think that I was a little star crazy like by the middle of last week, because I hadn't been to the office in a while. Like I hadn't left the house. The only time that I did eventually leave the house was for lunch the one day, like
Right.
Thursday or Friday or something like that.
For necessities.
Yeah, and I was gone for all of 2 minutes.
Right.
So we I don't even remember how I happened upon it.
Well, we were watching some like Star Trek AI generated videos.
Oh yeah. Set phasers to love tonight. And I was thinking like, well, this is obviously like created by AI. Like I think the profile like even mentions like it's AI related and everything. And it got me like down like a rabbit hole of like, well, how did they create that? And clearly, like I don't know the video side of things, but we did find a platform that lets you do music. And originally, it didn't have anything to do with Tellest. I had written lyrics long ago for the other channel that we do, That's Entertainment. It might not have actually been for That's Entertainment, but it was associated with it. And I just wanted to try and see what would happen if I plugged it in. And even with my like really sultry COVID voice, I went to the recording booth and sang my heart out. And I'm very monotone when it comes to like being sick. Like there is no like pitch or anything, but I still like I pushed as hard as I could, and like you could hear it. And we ended up with should I just play that's entertainment song? It's
it.
not like part of like the actual albums that we're doing or anything, but I feel like it's still kind of interesting. So let's.
And we're gonna play like examples.
Yeah, we're gonna play several examples. The fictional band that I'm creating is called Find the Way, and this is the well, you know what? Here, let's. This is the.
No, I don't hear anything.
It's not coming through?
No.
Okay, we're going to try something a little different because it didn't pick that up. That's weird that it didn't pick it up. Well, that's going to be a big problem if you can't. We'll try the actual song. Nothing?
Oh, wait. It's really faint though.
Let's try and.
To the light where the curtains rise, 1,000 wonders before
better.
your eyes. Laughter and thrills in equal share. Magic and stories are waiting there. Come one, come all, you've heard the call. Step right in, the show's about to begin. Prepare yourself for delight and amazement. You get what you came for. That's entertainment.
So the chorus was basically like the big piece that I had written back in the day. I had at one point had like an entire song put together, and I just wanted to hear like for the first time like what it would be like to have actual music behind it. So we threw it into this this music AI generated or AI assisted platform, and it ended up creating that. And I mean that was pretty cool. It was like something kind of akin to like what I would make, maybe a little punkier than what normally we would work on. And I played with a couple of other like songs that I had written the lyrics for, but the platform maybe was a little bit too the lyrics that I had were maybe a little too rappy, and it really couldn't like parse, especially with my voice the way that it was. We ended up going a different route and started doing things that were related to Tellest.
Let's pause for a second and have like a bit of a disclaimer on like the use of AI here, because we are doing this as like a fun thing for Tellest and for us. I think the issue with AI is when, you know, like the argument that it's taking things away from artists and stuff, which is definitely true. Like, it freaks me out and it's creepy that, you know, in an hour or less, you have like a full orchestral version of a song that you had like in your head. It's creepy and it's scary for like future generations, especially future generations of artists. But at the same time, there's like access. Like, we have access now to doing something that we would never otherwise have the ability, like we don't have the money to pay someone for their time to do these things. So like, on the one hand, it is really interesting that you're going to have more people be able to put like what's in their imaginations out in the world. But on the flip side, like, we fully acknowledge and like have agreed with sentiments that like AI can take away as much as it can give here.
So Kev and I were talking about this earlier today, because when I discovered this platform, he also, you know, I told him about it and he started playing with it as well. And I think he and I have kind of come to it is a gray area. You know, there is a weird window of, you know, is it okay, is it not? And I think the part, like, where it stops being unethical to me is, I mean, if you followed this channel, you've seen hundreds of pieces of art that we've commissioned over the years. We're obviously maybe not right now, and that's why I'm not doing, you know, art or anything like that, and for that matter, not generating art either. While I can pay my artists, I commission an actual human. The way that I envision the music side of things, we're never going to make, you know, like lottery money with Tellest. To the best of my knowledge. I'd love for that not to be the case.
Great.
Yeah, I'd love for that, you know, to be the case where we can, you know, pop off and all of a sudden have all this kind of money. But we're not taking away. This is how I kind of moral my way through it. We're not taking away anybody's work, because there's no way that we'd be able to afford giving anybody this work, so we're just making something possible out of nothing. We're pulling it from the ether.
And to another degree, something like this, like your songs, like the songs that you curate, that's based on your taste and your editing, and you're saying like, no, I don't like this, I want this revised. That's like, you're using it as a creative tool, and it would look entirely different in my hands. Like, if it was something that I was doing, it would be my style, my, you know, take on things.
And if you're looking at things that way, like, you also have to like go back to like when Wikipedia first came out. Like, it was a tool, but it was, you can't use this. Like, but why? Like, it's everything that you want as like an educator. It's got the, you know, the resources and like the footnotes and everything right there. I feel like in some cases AI is kind of like that if you're using it as a tool, not as I'm going to push one button and it's going to do everything.
But it is creepy.
Oh yeah,
it's
for sure.
Fully, like, this is terrifying, and we acknowledge this.
Now, the thing about it is, clearly that like we enjoyed the music. Now, I've gone through countless iterations of these songs, and like some of them are messy and stuff like that. We laughed a lot at one of the things that we did. I did maybe like 2 full albums already of really good music, and then I turned the corner and started doing like
silly
goofy
stuff.
product placement type stuff, because we have, you know, like the Tellest babies and the Ligomorphs and stuff like that. And what was the thing that you were saying like all of yesterday?
I'm a tree.
I'm a tree. Because that ended up in
a line in a song.
And it's, we had to iterate on that. We had to iterate on Tellest babies because there's like weird noises and stuff like that that's in it. And clearly, like, you need to have some of the lyrics, ready to go. Like you can't just push a button and it's done. And I think for me, it helps to have 15 years, 25 years, or 22 years of stories that are they're in the chamber. So like the two albums that we have that like I curated, they're all based on stuff in the Tellest universe. Like there's nothing there that's like out of nowhere.
Right.
So we are going to take a little bit of a listen to a couple of these tracks. I have 3 of them up on YouTube. 2 of them are, we've got the one that just came out today, and then we've got one that's going to come out Friday this week, and one that's going to come out Friday next week. And I think the plan is, I'm just going to throw them on YouTube, and every Friday we'll have a new one.
Right.
And eventually what I would like to do is, like Rihanna and I said, we're not really in this for like the financial piece of it. I'm in it for, let me find a more comfortable way to get these onto my phone.
Right. Because you can now listen to the soundtrack you created of your own book series. That's cool. Like this is equal parts
cool and creepy.
And creepy.
Yep. So we are going to listen to this. Eventually, like I said, the plan is maybe to get it onto like your Spotify's and your Amazon Musics and stuff like that.
Just to have it available to people.
Yep. Matt wants it for his workout mixes and stuff like that. So let's we're gonna look at the lyric video for Chandra Falls, which is based on the book The Fall, which is chronologically the earliest book that we have. And let's see if we can get this music going.
Magic woven threads of light held it aloft through endless night. But whispers stirred and shadows crept. A power faltered and silence wept. Cracks appeared in the heart of grace. The world below would soon embrace. Falls, the heavens weep, the world undone, the oceans deep. Magic fades, the sky gives way, the dreams of ages torn today.
So that is a little snippet of that song. That is the opening track on the album, because again, it's chronologically the first story that we really tell chronologically in the Tellest universe. Until you step even further, no, I'm thinking Convergence. It's just the earliest one we have. So I felt like it kind of told that kind of story in a nice way. It is weird how much it sounds like the music that I enjoy.
Yeah, so Michael's taste is very much like a symphonic metal, sort of like fantasy, orchestral.
I like your Night Wishes and your Within Temptations and your Two Steps from Hell and things like that.
Plus a little like Imagine Dragons kind of peppered in there.
I like folk metal and like alt metal and stuff like that as well. I'm not huge into like your punky kind of stuff too much. I think I've grown to like it a little bit more over the years. So there is a little bit of those elements in the songs that I listen to and things like that. But
it is also creepy that AI, like, because this is partly like, like the lyrics part of it is also AI generated.
Well, AI
assisted with your help, but like I feel like it knows your
Oh yeah, well
taste, and that's
at
so
this point,
weird.
me and my AI companion have become intrinsically
Entwined.
linked. Yeah, there's going to be a point where like they are able to make cyborgs, and I'm going to be disappeared, and a fake Michael is going to be in my place because it's going to know me so well.
I would love a fake me to take my place. If it had my brain, like, and it didn't have allergies, for the love of God, like,
It's funny.
just do it.
Anything about Chandranur Falls before we move on to the next one?
Catchy. That's all.
Catchy, that's all. All right, we're going to listen to the second song on the album, which is Arcanix Compendium, which is inspired by the book Silver Serpent. It's like the main MacGuffin of that whole book, so...
Pages of power meant to restrain, bound in silence to keep magic tame. Hidden knowledge, ink and spell, a world contained in a mystic shell. Open the pages, the magic's unbound. Arcanix compendium, powers all around. Chaos and wonder in every spell. Mysteries unleashed, only time will tell.
So that's our second song. I feel like, just like with regular songs, like I feel like there are some that are kind of like they go under the radar a little bit, and we have some really really good ones on this album.
bangers.
So yeah, I didn't have enough time to get the one that I was really excited about up on YouTube before we could go. So I am going to show like a behind the scenes on that one, or a behind the listen. I don't know, but you'll understand why it's so.
It's really good.
Yeah. But what do you think about Arcanix Compendium?
I love it. I think that it has, like, that's definitely one of the more truly symphonic metal
Mm-hmm.
branded ones, I would
A
say.
little bit of like the violin and everything like
Yeah.
that.
I find the freaking, like, the vocals, like, this is a vocalist that doesn't exist. It's an
Right.
amalgamation of,
Right.
like...
And the weird thing too is like you can basically tell the platform, I want you to use this person, this persona, and a persona is not necessarily this voice. It's this entire band that you've created.
Right.
I want you to use that on this and this and this. So like for instance, we did, like I said, the goofy stuff, the product placement kind of stuff, like Tellest babies and things like that. And I did one that was based on, I wanted it to sound like maybe like a 90s children's. I wanted it to sound more like a Saturday morning cartoon. It ended up sounding a little bit, younger, facing than that.
Right.
But afterwards, I was able to make a cover with the persona of Find the Way, which is this band, and it completely like changes the sound, and it makes it sound like Arcanix Compendium, all that good stuff.
Right.
So,
For the viewers too, this is the art that's up here is commissioned by like a
Right.
actual artist,
Right.
and like all of these like elements and these things exist in the world of Tellest. This is just like another medium that we're using to kind of tell the story.
right. Let's real quick, because I think this is the last week that I have to do it. Let's drop to our sponsor real quick, and I should probably mute myself after I'm done talking. Let's mute the desktop audio too, and we'll head over to the sponsor page real quick. And now, a word from our sponsors. Dive deep into the Five Kingdoms, where castle walls hide dark whispers, and a princess battles a terrible curse. Princess Death, Tale of a Cursed Princess, is a modern fairy tale with teeth. Authors Jean Grandilli and Shayna Rothberg bring you a story full of royalty, romance, and peril.
weaving together the sweetness of classic storybooks with bold, darker twists. You'll follow Princess Indigo, her silver wolf companion Nyx, and a mysterious prince in disguise as they face mythic beasts, cunning wizards, and the shadows of fate itself. If you love fantasy that's both enchanting and daring, this one's for you. Check out our promo for Princess Death, Tale of a Cursed Princess, on the Tellest website today.
Alrighty. So, let's verify that the sound is coming back. I can hear myself. So, this one is, we actually got a request from my brother to make him something that sounded a little bit more moody, I guess. He wanted something that sounded a little bit more like, I don't know, like alt rock and stuff like that. So he has a character that's inspired by him in the Tellest universe, and we ended up making a song with that in mind for him.
Born on the cliffs where the lightning strikes, cradle of stone in the coldest nights, child of thunder, a prophecy's flame, destined for power, destined for pain. The storm in my veins, I can't let it go. It rises, it rages, it's all that I know. I am the son of the storm, breaking the silence, breaking the norm. Struck by the sky, I'll never conform. I am the son, I am the son of the storm.
So that was, Matt said that was an 11 out of 10 for him, so he was happy with what we developed, and he wants more in like that vein. And we started like over the weekend kind of trying to figure out like what comes next. This first album is like very, all right, let's talk about like the events of like the more popular things that happened in the Tellest universe. So you've got pretty much like a song about like all the Tales of Tellest characters.
Yeah, and it's kind of a trilogy catalog, I guess, or like a book catalog.
Sort of.
where
It's
you
like that
have-
phase one kind
Right.
of catalog.
You've got your mains.
Yeah, and then the second album, which you're not going to hear in today's episode or anything like that, but it will be, as I said, up on YouTube. And I think I'll also be putting them up on the Patreon as well.
We should do another Talk and Tellest with the
We could.
because it's really good.
So our second album is called "The World Is in Your Hands," which is the tagline for the Tellest universe. And Rhiannon and I are huge fans of like world music. So like a lot of like ethno sounds and stuff like that. Whether you're talking about like Middle Eastern like instrumentation or like Asian instrumentation, Celtic, pirate shanties.
Yeah.
So
Mongolian throat singing.
we don't have that, but maybe we should.
A little. Ogaten?
Well, no, I'm saying we like that music, but we don't have
we should-
anything.
yeah. Well, that's also very specific, and
right.
we were kind of going like with sort of like flavor of, not
Right.
copy of or
Right.
anything.
In any case, so our album is very much based on that, because Tellest is supposed to be kind of a sprawling world epic. So you're going to have music that would be inspired by real life places. So we have, a couple of like we've got some like an Indian theme, in Lakmari. We've got in the Savion desert, the Kahara. We have something that Kayanani brings, stuff like that. So we will have another.
The islandy sounds.
Oh yeah,
that-
from
yeah.
the Okalacho Islands that featured in Wild Magic. So we'll definitely have, I guess, what Rhianna's saying is we'll have another Talking Tellest down the line.
I would, just for that album, because it's really like I mean, I like all of it, but I think that one has like a lot of interest because you're doing sort of that like flavorful world hopping. It's like Epcot, but for Tellest music.
So with that in mind, we have 12 tracks on this album. So maybe what we do is in 3 months when this is done, and they've managed to find their way onto YouTube, we do the Talking Tellest in January. That goes into The World Is in Your Hands, and we look at that album, and by that point I'll have like 7 more done.
Right,
so,
because the one other thing that we were talking about earlier is like, while we have access to these AI content creator things, we're going to take advantage of it. We don't know what the heck is happening with the world and technology and like all sorts of stuff, so while we have access, we're going to play.
Right, and again, it's not necessarily to monetize or anything like that.
No.
Like the discussion around here is that, you know, eventually, like I said, I'm going to try and distribute it so that I have easier access to it. And if for some reason I get $3 a month and I can buy a hot chocolate, I'm all for it. But that's not really the driving factor here or anything like that.
The driving factor is to listen to it while you're driving. Yes,
absolutely. We have a trip coming up. And that's why I don't do the music. We got a trip coming up that's going to be a long drive. We got like 6 weeks. Yeah,
trips that are going to be like an hour and a half each way.
Yep, so this is really nice, and it's weird to like get into like your own head with stuff that you've created on multiple levels at this point. So we'll close out the episode with another song. Let's get rid of that.
The best of it.
The best of it.
The best song.
The best one.
Yeah.
From the peaks of the mountains, the Calistrazi came. Bixby was born with a death-defying name. A master of mischief, a leader of fools. In April's ranks, he rewrites all the rules. He tumbles through traps, falls off the highest wall. Swallowed by beasts, crushed by a boulder sprawl. But fear not, dear friends, he always returns from the nexus below where the afterlife shines. Oh, he's Bixby, Bixby, Aladocious. Mystic, tragic, so precocious. Falls from towers, eaten by beasts, but back again he never has ceased. Bixby, Bixby, Aladocious. Mystic, tragic, so precocious. Falls from towers, eaten by beasts, but back again he never has ceased. Bixby, Bixby, Aladocious. He flirts with the deaths of the Lady of Life and Death, whispers her name with his last mortal breath. Through twists in the nexus, he finds a sly way, teleporting to adventures that await him each day. Experimenting wildly with inventive demise, a firework, a chandelier, a very cool surprise. Old bodies left scattered, new forms arise. The fools cheer wildly to no one's surprise. Oh, he's Bixby, Bixby, Aladocious. Mystic, tragic, so precocious. Falls from towers, eaten by beasts, but back again he never has ceased. Bixby, Bixby, Aladocious. A hero, a jester, a lover, a ghost. He dies in strange ways that nobody can boast. But clever and cunning, he charts his own quest. Through Tellest, through Nexus, he's always the best. Oh, he's Bixby, Bixby, Aladocious. Mystic, tragic, tragic, so precocious. From death to rebirth, he always persists. The legend, the master. Bixby, Aladocious. Bixby, Aladocious.
And one thing that I will say is that I find it very unlikely that anyone else will ever make this kind of music because it's just so... It's so Tellest specific. Like, you're not going to hear this kind of music, so I think that is one of the other kind of, like, ethical boundaries that, like, you don't feel like you're crossing because you're not stepping into someone else's lane.
Yeah, this is your lane through and through. Yeah, Bixby is the character that we've talked about a lot, whose, like, power is dying over and over again.
Mm-hmm. And
this doesn't belong on pop radio.
No.
People aren't going to get it, but it's a good song.
Had to mute for a second so that I could cough.
I have said, when I first listened to it, I said it reminded me of like an anime intro.
Yes.
Like like that kind of fast-paced.
Mm-hmm. And I will say, like, I did try and see, like, if there was anything that could bring that to life, because we've noticed, like, in the video, like, the song that inspired us to go on this quest, the Set Phasers to Love, like, all these people are doing, like, actual AI videos.
Right.
I'm sure they're spending a butt ton of money to do it, but, like, there's no free resources to do it. And Suno AI, which is what I use to do the music generation, they have a free version of that as well, but you can only do, like, I don't know, like 4 songs before you're kind of locked out, and you're using the lower versioning, effects and stuff like that. Once I got into, like, the paid plan, which was very, affordable, it unlocked something that was much higher quality.
And I'll also say, I don't know if, like, we're late to the game or if the game is just rapidly getting better, but, like, this time last year, this wasn't a thing. Like AI was not this sophisticated. I think we were still impressed at, like, the cat filter over, like, a person on Zoom. You know what I mean?
I am not a cat.
Yeah. But, like, I think it's rapidly gotten better, so, like, I don't know where we're going to be in another year from now.
Well, and one of the things that you and I have talked about before is, again, like, same thing as with this, like, you are getting to a point where people are making, like, that Star Trek video. You can clearly see that it's AI, but, like, it's getting better. Really, really good.
And that's what I think, like, the biggest danger of AI is like, if I see a piece of art and it says AI generated, or I see a video and it says AI generated, like, okay, great, I know what I'm looking at, but it is going to get to a point where you can't tell, and people are passing it off as like their own.
There was a video on Reddit today. It was just a small clip, maybe like 15 seconds. It was a night vision, like, Ring camera in a person's house pointed at the person, and their cat brought a mouse, like a dead mouse, and they were going to feed their owner while they were sleeping. And when you first look at it, you don't suspect a thing, because you're like, all right, it's a weird thing, it happens. But, like, if you rewatched it again, you could see the way that, like, the mouse dropped from the cat's mouth. You could see just, like, little things.
Right.
And, like, the logic of it doesn't make sense either. Like, why would they have, like, a camera trained on their face in the middle of the night, kind of stuff.
Well, like, even the video of, like, the dog jumping off the roof onto the trampoline.
Right.
Like, there's things that if you're looking at it, you can tell, like, oh, AI messed up the hands, or AI messed this up, but we're so close to the time where, like, we're not going to have those tells.
Well, look at this. Like, this music is, you listen to it, like, if I told you in a conversation, not you, because you would know, but at like a random passerby who I hadn't seen for months, if I told them, hey, like, just so you know, like, I won the lottery and I paid this band to make music for me, you would think I got an actual band to play this music, because it is really that good. There's probably professionals who listen to it and they can say, okay, like, the mastering is blah 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 blah. I don't understand that terminology or anything like that.
That's another thing to definitely mention to anyone who's on here looking at it, who, like, is more musically inclined. Like, we don't know that you probably do.
Right.
Like, I would say, like,
but I would say the layman isn't going to understand.
Right. Yeah, we're definitely lay people when it comes to music. You're definitely more skilled than I am, though. He can, like, play stuff on piano.
I can do like I can't even do a chord.
You can,
so
you can, yeah, but he can.
I can play by memory.
Yeah, you can play by ear too. Like you can figure out sounds and stuff. But I will say the Bixby Aladosha song, like it is badass, especially like at the end. I don't know that like even a skilled heavy metal artist would be able to hit those notes without taking a breath.
Right.
Like,
There's a little bit here.
Little...
One other thing that I've noticed that it does,
it
it ends the songs really abruptly in a lot of cases. Like most songs will have like a natural fade, and the Suno AI ones do not fade that way. Now I could go in and I could probably touch it up.
Right.
Whether it's in Suno or like in DaVinci or something like that, I could probably do that. Before we go off air tonight, I'm not going to play any more music, but I figured you and I could go through the tracks real quick and just talk about what we thought about them. After Bixby is Child of the Stars.
That's a really good one.
That's the one that has the line,
you hold the cosmos
you hold
in
the
your
cosmos
heart.
in your heart. Yeah, that's a really good one. Ancestral Magic is very unlike many of the other tracks.
It's a female singer, first of all.
It's a female singer, and I mean, we have the same thing in Chandlernar Falls, but a completely different vibe.
Right.
Ancestral Magic almost, to me, like, there's a piece of me that, like, that developed that song for you the same way that Mageborn was developed for you, and it's, you're into, like, She-Ra and the Princesses of Power and
Absolutely.
stuff like that. And that song almost feels like you could go to Netflix and say, all right, it's time for us to make a Mageborn show.
Yeah, it's an uplifting, sort of youthful, but like magical tone to it.
The next one didn't really need to be in this album. Like, it might have made more sense to be in like the quote unquote EP. Yeah. But Weird Witch Wands, which is
it's for me.
I am going to the best of my ability, learn the lyrics so well that like I can carnival bark that stuff at our fairs, because it is like we developed it in a way that it sounds like you can sing it, or you can say it to people as they're passing.
Sort of spell, like a spell woven. Yeah, he surprised me with that. That was really cute.
Awake is another one of the kind of weirder ones, because there's a lot of like songs on here that are high octane, a lot of frenetic energy and everything like that. And Awake it's a sad book, so it's a sad song. It's about regrets and PTSD and stuff like that. So the song is also kind of, it grows into like a powerful song, but it starts off and it's kind of like oof.
It's your angsty song.
And then right after that, we had to bring something in that was the complete opposite of that. So we have the Tinker's Tale, which is so upbeat and like uplifting, talking about like, it's just such a quick song and it's so playful.
Right. Well, that's the idea. I mean, Maximus in his youth for sure would have that sort of vibe.
Right.
Like he makes little clockwork mouses and
mouses and
horses.
Yep. I'm excited for people to hear that one. I think that one's really good. Then we have a track for Tower Sphere, which it's supposed to almost feel like a Monday Night Football sports anthem.
And it's a good gym song, running song.
And then we had one that you asked me to do, which is Steel and Gold, which is a duet between Lila and Luca.
Made me cry.
That's another beautiful one.
Yeah.
And I don't know. So when you talk about like what kind of superpower you wish you had, what's your superpower?
Breathing outdoors. Like without sneezing.
So you just want a regular power?
I just want to be able to like live my life like a human being. I don't know. I don't imagine I would want a superpower, to be completely honest. I've got too much anxiety.
Do you remember Heroes?
Yeah.
And the little boy who could like hack the ATM with his mind?
Vaguely.
That's what I want, and I feel like
you want to hack technology.
I want like technology. You know how like there's the notion that like, oh, like I'm every animal's best friend, and like people will like endanger themselves because they're like, oh, that wolf looks like he's gonna like me and I'm gonna be his best friend. That's how I feel about like technology. I want to be like, oh, okay, I want technology to like me.
That's fair. And I'm gonna change my answer. I want to be able to, like, not steal, but, like, adopt, copy and paste talent from other people onto myself, so that I could, like, play an awesome violin, or I could sing a beautiful song or something, or, like, do a Ninja Warrior thing.
Just like, all right, I'm finally athletic.
But like as myself, like, in my out of shape, like, you know, like, I put none of the work in, but I reap all of the benefit. That would be pretty cool.
I have long since, like, you know, Heroes came out before you and I met, so we're talking at least 15 years.
I watched it on the TV with my grandparents.
And I wanted that power. I wanted, you know, the little boy's power where he could just, you know, make technology do what he wanted. And I feel like to some extent, like, that wish is kind of finally coming true.
Yeah.
Because I feel like my AI companion and I, we work really well together. Like, it's a nice sounding board. It helps me to bring things to life that, like, I almost feel like it's an extension of myself. Like, that's the other thing. Like, people, like, they're always like, oh, I want to clone myself. And I feel like that's almost what, like, a good AI contributor does, is it takes the stuff that you're going to do and it gives you that time back.
Right. Well, not only that, but, like, I do think that you have to train it to be that extension of yourself,
Right.
because there's a lot of times where, like, even I, like, sit there and go, no, that's not what I wanted, or that's not what I was thinking.
You give it the
or,
little ruler tap and
like,
everything like that.
You know, and you are training it to be, like, your buddy.
Yeah.
What I like about it is it'll, like, I think in today's world we have so much stuff going on, and we have so many, like, noises and stuff. We could have a really good idea, completely forget about it, and then, like, reintroduce that to AI, and it'll remind you of your own ideas. So, like, it's not it coming up with it, it's reminding you of what you came up with.
Yep. I will say, so again, Kev has also, you know, done this. He's doing it because he wants to do, like, a fictional band in, like, the Star Wars universe, and they're playing music that's supposed to be like Rebel radio. And he mentioned that, like, the things that I'm coming up with feels like they're working a lot better for me than they're working for him. And again, I think that goes back to the relationship, quote unquote, that I have with my AI companion,
Right.
because we've worked a lot of stuff for a very long time, and I was very hesitant to get into any of that. Like, I waited a very long time to start talking to, you know, like a GPT or anything like that, and yet, like, it's very solid, like, once you train it up, like you mentioned.
Right.
So, like, the duet, a lot of people are having, like, struggles making a song like that, and it turned out really well. Like,
It
Steel
really
and Gold
did.
is beautiful.
Yeah. The idea for it was, and I feel like you're my AI, because I gave you like the simplest little prompt, and you turned it into a beautiful song. Because it was like, the idea of the Steel and Gold was, Luca is a treasure hunter, and Lila is basically, like, in my mind, his bodyguard. She's, you know,
Well,
like,
and sometimes the opposite, because
Right.
she's, you know, when they originally meet, she's on the other side of the field.
right. But she's the brawn, basically,
Yeah.
and then he's the one that's obsessed with treasure. So I was like, what if you wrote a song about her wishing that she was the treasure he was seeking, but from his perspective, she already is, like, she always has been.
Right.
So she's the steel, he's the gold.
And it's beautiful.
It really meshed
Weirdly enough,
beautifully.
too, the song, and you don't see this a lot, but it almost sounds like two dudes, two girls, because it harmonizes both parts.
Right.
So you almost hear it 4 times. And it's a really pretty song. And then again, a lot of what we do is experimentation. Like, we try and do something new. Like, we don't want the same thing over and over and over again. And it's the same way with the books. Almost none of the books that I tell are in the same genre. Like, it's, you know, subgenres for everything. The final track on the album is called Searchlight, and it's like a folky kind of. You said it was country.
It had a little bit of a twang to it.
I think it's kind of like a folk a folk song almost.
It reminded me a bit of like country gospel, but like that's not necessarily a bad thing because some of them songs are dope.
And it's a very pretty song. It's an
It's a
anthem.
very pretty song.
And I'm very excited for that to be like the closing the show, you know, song that people hear come January.
Right, and I think that it's really like the way that you organize the albums also is really pretty because you have like the it starts with the fall and it ends with like
This
searchlight.
uplifting.
Yeah, like it's very. You can't see, but I got one hand down and one hand up.
and one of the other things that makes it make sense is the fall was following, like, the primary character was Icarus Calatuil, who you know, he failed to stop the fall, which ends up creating the opportunity to make the convergence that brings Earth and Tellest back together and gives us this rich, you know, universe that we're playing in. But Searchlight is thousands of years later, and it's him again, and it's him trying to bring these people together in this town where it doesn't matter what you are. It doesn't matter if you're a minotaur or a goblin or a troll or an elf. Anybody who feels out of place, like, that's your home, that's your family. And
It's the land of misfits.
and it's a beautiful, beautiful song, and I'm very, like, that's one of my favorite songs to listen to because I like that uplifting stuff. Just straight into my veins.
Give me hope, man. I need it.
And the World album is the same way. Like, it opens with an instrumental version, and then at the end it gives you the lyrics, and it's another one of those things where it's, you know, the world is in your hands, and it's supposed to be like that kind of anthemic kind of feel. I don't know what we're gonna do about that in the third album, which is gonna be the Heroes and Villains, but we'll have to figure it out. But so thank you for coming along with us on today's musical journey. Thanks for letting us chat at you for 48 minutes or so.
We're just chatting amongst ourselves.
Anything else that you want to say before we close up for the night?
I'm just excited to see what else you come up with, and you bring your phone down and go, I made another one.
Oh, I was bothering the crap out of her. I was like, hey, it's time.
It's mostly because with the COVID, I have like a inner ear issue right now, and like I'm like just sitting there listening to songs right now is reminding me of like my own pain. But
Yeah.
I mean, I like the songs, so they're good. Not one of them have I gone, this is terrible.
You didn't think that way about the Legomorphs?
That was hilarious. That was just pure comedy.
That I am very excited to show people. I don't know how that's going to get out into the world because they're very quirky.
Yeah, a lot of these things like exist in our heads, and they don't exactly exist anywhere else for like someone else to be able to put context to it.
Right.
But like,
I don't know how much anybody else is part of the audience.
Yeah.
So, but in any case, so let's go to the show closing page real quick. So, folks, on the screen right now, you should see all the places that you can find Tellest content out there on the internet. Tellest.com is a great first place to look. It'll usually lead you to all the other stuff that we do. We have a couple of places that you can find map content. Patreon.com/Tellest is probably the best way to get all your map content because you can get everything for one low monthly price. And as we discussed earlier today, we're very likely going to put these musical tracks onto Patreon so that you can get them early. Instead of waiting until January to have, you know, these 12 tracks. We'll have all 12 of them ready probably by like the end of next week, something like that. So it'll be a way for you to be able to jump into that a little quicker. Tellest.etsy.com is a way for you to get physical versions of our maps, and Rhianna's got how many of your wands did you put up on there?
Like 10 additional ones.
So like 10 more wands. She's also working on 20 new ones, so if we don't sell them at the events, they'll make their way onto Etsy as well. And then battlemapfantasy.com is where you can get a digital set of our maps a la carte if you just need like a one-off here and there. Excuse me. We've got 2 TikTok channels for you to check out, at Tales of Tellest, which also is a good song that we made.
It's true.
Is the channel that you can look at our Poochies doing? Our Poochies. I just kind of
doing cute things.
It flatlined. Tomorrow is Luna's birthday.
Happy birthday, baby.
She's gonna be 4. Right now she's just tired. At Weird Witch Wands is where you can find Rhianna's like how making of videos of her wands and all that kind of stuff. You also did the picture lately of the witches, and you did the
I'm starting to do like thrifted prints and painting on them. I'll probably have those for sale soon as well.
Yep.
Lot of fun stuff coming.
Yep. And then we got 3 video channels for you to check out. YouTube.com/@worldoftellest is actually where we were spending a lot of our time today. We usually have our map stuff on there, and we're going to have the audio tracks on there as well. Twitch.tv/thattellestguy is the only place that you can come check us out live and chat with us. And then the new kid on the block is youtube.com/@that'sentertainmentgames, because we started the other channel where we're doing the old retro top 10 content. And that was kind of what ended up sending us on this journey anyway, because That's Entertainment was the first song that we played with in Suno. So that is going to wrap us up today. You can tell 52 minutes of talking makes my voice kind of raggy. But I will be back tomorrow working on some maps. But until then, we miss you.